Hey y'all, just got done with Delta July 15th and 16th. During the heat wave, the weather was 105. We were already off the water by then. It was at least into the mid 90s by the time we got off the water though. Outgoing tide all day, both days, 6-hour tournament. So we blasted off right at sunlight and came in at 11:30. So that's kind of the ballpark of what we're talking about. My boat is down for motor issues, and since it's in the shop and we had a tournament coming, Brian and I decided to fish with each other because we both didn't have partners. So this is a rundown for the tournament with both of us, same boat. Saturday, we decided to run up one of the sloughs, run up into Sycamore and fish the islands. We missed multiple bites, and kind of the ballpark of this is going to be Saturday and Sunday are completely different days. Saturday was the rough day. We won't spend as much time on that. What we did get bit on Saturday was right off the beginning, we had a spinnerbait bite for a small keeper just on the outside weed line of Point, one of the islands. He had a really good blow up on
Booyah buzzbait, the clacking bait, citrus shad. Good blow up, just didn't get a good hook in him, never felt weight. Just unfortunate. It's the way it goes.
And then we moved down farther from that, and he picked up a couple more fish. Why don't you talk about those?
So I was throwing a River Sea Spittenwa, the small ones. This is dirty white.
Yeah, dirty white color.
I really like the Spittenwas. I don't use it as like a popper, but it walks really good for me. I really like throwing these. I got a bunch of fish on it. I had a ton of takedowns. Might have hit James with it.
Yeah, if you stick to the end of the video, I think I'm gonna leave that one in there. So if you make it to the end of this video, you get to see me get hit with a frog.
Yeah, I might have hit him twice.
Yeah, that'll come out later in the shorts. I'm only gonna give away one for this video.
Yeah.
I'll save the other one for later.
But
You'll see it on Instagram.
But we caught a ton of fish. We just couldn't get any size really. We moved to another area, another slough, and I threw in a Cinco Texas rig. This is a 6-inch green pumpkin, watermelon flake or red flake. I threw it in and it started swimming out.
Yeah,
and that was our fish.
We only had 3 keepers on Saturday. That's how rough it was. We had enough bites for a limit, not a very big limit, but enough bites. They just didn't stay hooked up. They came out. The one thing I do want to mention is this is watermelon slice Cinco. It's a 5-inch Cinco. I was throwing this in that back alley section between the weeds and the rocks and catching a ton of fish. If you want to get your kids involved or somebody new to Cinco fishing or just want to go have fun yourself, you could easily take this, throw between the rocks and the weeds, and just cover water. When you get bit in one area, usually that whole area has a bunch of babies in there. If you're not getting bit in that area, just go down the bank a quarter mile and you'll run back into them. So it's a good thing for if you just want to get bit. Realistically, I don't think the color really matters. You just need something in that back
We were
alley.
throwing both of them. I was throwing the bigger one.
And there's other people who were saying they were throwing purple.
Yeah.
Which is, dark profile, but a completely different color. But that's a good way for that.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add on Saturday?
Well, our lunch.
we did afterwards. The highlight of our day was actually, we launched out of B&W and we decided to go to the little store that they have there. And they actually have a pretty decent selection of hot dogs, sausages,
Pizza.
It's actually pretty good food. Like, it's good hot dogs. They're kind of like the Costco style, or they're the I think they're a Dell or something like that. Actual sausages.
It was good, and we both got a hot dog, both got a Gatorade, and it was like $13.
Yeah,
like very reasonable.
Yeah,
I would go back and eat it again.
Yeah, definitely. It was a good after hot day on the water, just to have a nice little good snack on that.
Another thing to talk about for Saturday is everywhere we went, we saw like slimy, like.
Yeah, which I was gonna get into for what we did different on Sunday. So why don't we start out on Sunday? So Saturday, like he's saying, everything that we fished, we kind of fished like McQualamy, Potato, Sycamore, Ballpark, those kind of basic areas. There was a lot of weed with a lot of like that slimy stuff that you can't even rip off of your baits. It's just stuck to it. It coats the whole thing. And we decided on Saturday, after we had our delicious hot dog, to jump back in the boat in 100-degree weather and go find clean grass to get away from that slime. And it paid off on Sunday. And I think that's a lot of the key, was that cleaner grass for what we got done. Sunday started off with actually another spinnerbait fish, again on a weed point coming off an island. This is a Dobbins spinnerbait. I don't remember the color, but it's kind of glimmer blue or citrusat or something, and it just has a Kitech on it for a trailer in a. This is a 3.3, but I was throwing a 3.8 also. And just slow rolling it through the weeds. And then if you get to the weeds and you just twitch it off of it, and they'll eat it off that twitch.
Yeah.
So other than that, the first part of the morning is yours. Go for it.
Yeah, he caught that spinnerbait fish, and you know the buzzbait kicks off pretty good fish, right? Like, it's a big bite bait. I put 4 fish in the boat pretty quick with this buzzbait, and the only bad thing is, you guys know, with a buzzbait, you're burning miles of water, right? Like, you're gonna be throwing it and throwing it and throwing it and throwing it and throwing it, and then it just works, throwing it. We put a limit together pretty fast. We're feeling pretty good about ourselves, and then we started back into a couple other areas, and then he started trying to catch up to me.
Yeah, so he went 4 unanswered fish basically, and I only had 1 in the boat, and I ended up basically feeding off of what he had, right? He's throwing the buzz bait and all that, but his bite was kind of slowing down. You can kind of tell the bites were getting a little farther away from there. The sun was getting a little higher. So I picked up a white frog, and again, back to that points, the island points with the current, and picked up 2 in back-to-back casts on this white frog, and they were choking it. I actually leave a little bit in this video. You can actually see me struggling to get the frog out. I have to use my mouth and my teeth and both hands and to pull this frog out because it was so deep in the gullet, and you can watch how fast I set that hook and how deep that frogfish is. Like, the frog was completely gone. I could only see that much of it coming out of its mouth. So it was completely gone. Again, those were back-to-back casts. Start moving down a little bit more. I actually ended up picking up another one on a Cinco, and then picked up that frog again. We were covering area while he was running that buzzbait, and picked up a couple more that didn't help.
Right.
At that time, we probably had 12 pounds, something like that for 5, somewhere in that ballpark. Moved around to a couple different areas. Those areas didn't pan out as much. Again, still back to that clean grass. And then we moved to our final area.
Yeah.
And we caught him on, actually, I think he picked up the bigger bites. I had one other small keeper size, but I
picked up another 2 something on the spit and wah frog. And then the water was just, it wasn't looking right. No toolies. So I picked up a drop shot, hated drop shot, but a 7-inch margarita mutilator, number 3, MM3. And straight hooked it on a drop shot, threw it in at the outside weed edge, and picked up another fish that was around 2.7-ish, which called us up again.
Yeah.
So, but that was kind of it. The drop shot, it was hot then. Tide was slowing down. The fish were outside.
Yeah, all of our bites on any other bait pretty much died out. For those of you that have made it this far in the video, basically what's happening is the front half of the day, that very beginning, the fish are up active, moving, pushing around. In the afternoon, they drop out to the outside weed edges or even farther out than that edge. So don't be afraid to fish that edge and out 10 feet.
Yep.
Away from that edge. They're in that pocket down deep on the bottom in the weeds that are down there on the bottom. Not everyone, I mean, a lot of people have figured that out, but not everyone. The people who are struggling, that's what they haven't tried, is that outside pocket area. So just a little add into that is don't be afraid to go slow and don't be afraid to go deep. Yes, it's the Delta. Everybody wants to throw frogs, spinner baits, buzz baits. But there are times where you need to just pick up a drop shot, suck it up, or a Cinco, suck it up, and make it happen.
Yep.
That's pretty much it. We placed first on. We went from basically 0 to hero.
Yeah.
So we went from almost dead last on Saturday to first place on Sunday. Again, we had 1308 was our 5 fish limit. Not crazy, but considering we only had 4 pounds on Saturday, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Like
second place finish for the weekend.
Yeah. Our overall for the weekend, we got second. So points wise, we're good.
First tournament of the year.
Yeah. Right.
Good way to start off.
Yeah. And at least didn't start with a 5th to 11th place or whatever we were on Saturday.
That would have been horrible.
So, I think that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, you can always hit me up on Instagram. I'm also going to have the other little short of him assaulting me with a frog, or trying to assault me with a frog. That's pretty much it. Until next time, I hope you get him.